And the use everything. Lead the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And City Manager, if you wouldn't mind leading us in our invocation.
Yes, ma'am. Father, we come to you this evening thanking you for the good day that you've given us and, Lord, for the blessings of the day. Now, I pray that you bless us as we look at the business of the city and the folks that we serve tonight. Give us wisdom as we make decisions. I pray for our folks as they work and protect our community. Lord, provide those services. I pray that you be with the commission as they, Lord, look at this business as well. Guide and direct us. We thank you for your watch care over us. And we love you this evening. In Jesus' name, I make my prayer. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Call the meeting to order. And before we have the presentation of the audit, I'm going to take an item out of order, which will be item 6G. And this is an item that I'm excited about doing. Joy, if you would read item 6G.
An order employing Dana Robbins to fill the position of Police Officer 3.
Is there a motion? Motion by Commissioner Strode, second by Commissioner Cox. Any discussion? I have a discussion. Just want to say welcome to what we're about to preview in just a moment. We're thrilled to have another female on the staff, as you and I have talked. There's domestic violence issues, there's rape cases, there are child abuse cases, there are things that need a female on that job. Not that our guys aren't awesome and wonderful, but we really appreciate your diligence, the training you've already had. We appreciate the way you're coming to us, and we look for you to be one of our finest officers. So all in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? All right, let's welcome Dana.
Welcome.
Don't picture them.
Now, guys, smile. Big smiles. Come on, Jensen, big smile.
Somebody had to get on the other side.
Off the back of your head, Andrew.
Oh.
Now smile.
Andrew, I apologize for him. Okay, item number 2, we have a presentation from Tom Sparks of Summers, McCreary and Sparks, who will go over our fiscal year 2025 audit. Mr. Sparks?
As the mayor said, I am Tom Sparks, Summers McCreary Sparks, and I'm glad to represent my crew tonight to present your audit. Hopefully, before you have a round good copy of the audit. I think you might have received a draft earlier.
They did, yes, sir.
So this is just the final, prettier that draft on. But it's the same report. We did not make, there might have been a few little edits, but there was no change in the numbers or comments or anything. I'd like to thank Alicia and Mike and their staff in assisting our team when we were on site doing the audit. They were very efficient and cooperative and helping us get the audit done in a short period of time this year. So, I'm gonna start off by letting you know, you all did have to have a single audit because you had federal funds that flowed through the city this year, some more of the ARP money and a CDBG grant that flowed through the city to the industrial authority, about $1 million, and you are aware of that. So I'm just going to hit the highlights of the audit, but please stop me if there's something you want to discuss or something that I mentioned to discuss. The audit is 107 pages. I'm not going to read all 107 pages.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also let you know, I think you've all been on the commission before, but you also have WMU is your component unit, and you'll see them listed in your audit. I am not going to go through any of their information. That audit's been presented to their commission, and they've accepted it and approved it. Okay, so your audit is composed, pages 1 to 9 is a letter of transmittal. This is prepared by your management team. So any information in there, we've just included in the audit, but we have not prepared any of that. Pages 10 to 12, this is our independent audit report. This is really the only part of the audit that is ours. And if you'll turn to page in that letter, the second paragraph, you'll see the second paragraph says, in our opinion, the financial statements proposed above present fair. That's the cleanest report that an auditor can put on a set of financial statements, and that's what we presented this year on those audits. There was a new auditing standard. If you look down in the third paragraph, GASB 101 dealt with compensated absences, and all it did was reflect what GASB thought a more thorough amount of liability of compensation that may be realized in the future of the people that accumulated their compensated leave. So we did have to implement that during the year. So the next part of the audit is on page 13 to 25, and this is the MDA, Management Discussion and Analysis. This also was prepared by the city using some audited information in it. And that's what I want to draw your attention to. If you turn to page 19, and I think I've said this in the past, there's two different financial statements that are in your audit. One is like a full accrual, which is governmental, which you all do not budget, but it is required to be in your audit. And then there's what we call a fund-wide, which you all do budget, and that's what I'm going to go through on page 19. So this is the analysis of your balance sheet, basically on page 19. What I'd like to draw to your attention, you'll see that cash did increase about $6.6 million, but this was primarily from a $12.3 million loan that you got during the year that was parked in your capital funds budget. And then the bad news is if you go down under fund balances and you look under the line that says unassigned, in 2024, it was 5.1 million. This year it's 3.6. This is continually going down, and it's going to create a situation where you all are going to have to really monitor your budget going forward. If you'll turn to page 20, this is your, at the bottom of the page, your revenue expenses. Just hit some highlights there. Your revenues, they were up about $4.7 million. Now, this was primarily from federal grants that came in. Your ARP money and your CDBG money. And then under your expenses, they increased about $5.3 million. Primarily, this was in the wages and employee benefits that had been employed with the comp study from the prior year. It's really kicked in for a full year during the year. And then on capital expenditures, you all had a tremendous amount. You can see under capital, it went from 3.7 to 9.6. And I'll mention that in a few minutes. But those were the biggest items that affected your expenditures during the year. If you'll turn to page 22, down under major, at the bottom of the page, major capital projects for the year, you can see where the increases came during the year. Construction progress, you had several things ongoing, and then you had under the vehicles, you had like 9 police cruisers, I think, were purchased last year, and then there was a fire truck and a ladder truck, both purchased, and those are pretty good increases to your vehicle line item. Then on page, so on page 22, that construction progress, if you turn to page, not right now, but on page 57, there's a detail of all the construction progress projects that were going on, and they hopefully will be completed in this year. The next part of the audit is on page 26 to 38. These are the financial statements. Then again, there's 2 bases of accounting presented. I'm only going to hit the fund line on which you all budget. The other you don't budget because it's got all kinds of crazy numbers with the liabilities for pension and OPEB and things like that that you all really have no control over. So on page 28, of the audit, you'll see your major funds are listed: general fund, capital equipment, state and federal grants, and then your non-major funds. This could change each and every year. There's a schedule in the back that has a detail of all the non-major funds. And it depends on the amount of money they have coming in and the amount of revenue they have going out, which determines if they're major or non-major. But as you can see, up into the first line item on that page, under the cash, 10.2 million is sitting in capital equipment, and that's primarily from the loan. Then on page 30 is the statement of revenues and expenditures. Just want to point out a few line items here. Same items, you have capital equipment, general capital equipment, and the federal state grants. You can see under the capital, the $4 million, that's what went out. And then over in the federal and state grants, 2.3 million, that's your ARPA monies and the 1 million on the CDBG that passes through. Then under capital equipment, if you go down under other financing, you'll see 12.3 million was that new loan that came in. And then if you look at the very bottom of that worksheet, it says net change in fund balance. This is where the commission and the management's really got to look at the net change in fund balance under general fund was a negative 1.7. And of course, what's under federal grants, you expect it to be negative because that money comes in and you want to spend all of it. So that's natural. Let's see. Then the next part of the audit, okay, on page 32 and 33 is the actual to budget line items. And so if you turn to those pages, 32 and 33, you can see your original budget, your final budget, your actual, how everything really shook out. And then that last column is most important because it has the favorable or unfavorable amount between the budget and the actual. So you have several unfavorable line items that, you know, in this year's budget, which I think it's the budget been presented already?
No.
No,
No.
sir.
Okay,
No,
coming
sir.
up. Okay, you just really have to hone in to get a little more accurate on your actual versus your original budget. And the second page is the special revenues, and then this will have mainly the spending of the loan that you borrow and all the various, I think there was 6 or 7 different categories that loan is going to be used for. Yeah. And so that will be reflected in that budget. Next, any questions so far? Okay. Pages 39 to 86. These are the notes from the financial statement, and they keep growing as our government operating standards continue to grow, and we have to keep on increasing to be in compliance. But all I want to reference to, if you turn to page 55, note number 4, 55, note number 4. This is a detail of, we talked about this several times, but this is a detail of your fixed assets. You can see the addition columns of what really is taking place. Under the construction in progress, when something gets completed, it's shown as a negative number because we move it out of there to a line item that's probably either infrastructure, which most of those projects are, and talking about construction in progress, if you'll turn to page 57. So these are all the projects that are at the bottom of the page, number 7, construction in progress. These are all of the projects that you had going on as of June 30, 25. So you can see kind of where they started, what the additions, when they completed, and what's the ending balance of those. The next thing I want to draw to your attention is on page 58, because this will be a factor in your budgeting for fiscal year 26. Let's see, page 8. Oh, okay. Is your, at the top of page, number 8, no, footnote 8, is your long-term debt. As you can see, you have your beginning balance, and a big addition is, of course, that new bond. Then you have been paying down on your other finance purchases. But then when you look at your schedule, next year it's not going to be too bad for the principal, but your interest, I think, on that new bond is pretty significant. I think it was like $500,000. Does that sound right, Alicia? I think, I looked at the amortization schedule, but I think that's about right. If you look over on the page 59, you can kind of see the principal amount and the interest amount. I'm sorry, $619,000, but that's a combination of all debt. So it is going to be a factor in your budgeting for next year. The next thing I want to just bring to your attention is on page 79. The city always gets, I hate to use bombarded, but you get a lot of entities within the city, county that wants money. And so last year, note number 19, under related organizations, $445,000 was granted by the city to these organizations. So that'll be another factor into your budgeting. On page 86, I want to draw your attention to note number 24, change in accounting principle. I mentioned this at the start. There was a new accounting standard that was implemented, had to be implemented in the cities. And basically what it did was just change the way you all reflected the amount that you were going to have to pay on or recognized for people who had earned vacation time and build up. So it has to be reflected in your financial statements a little more than it had been in the past. And so you can see the effects is basically $652,000 had to be increased to your liability to get you in compliance. And there again, that was more of a governmental, which you are not technically budget for, but it is something that could come into play down the road when people start retiring. The rest of the audit, there's a section in here called the required supplemental information. That all has to do with your OPEB and pension plans. We take this information directly out of the actuary's report that the state employs actuaries, but they do put a line in them for the city of Winchester, and we're required to put in your audit. And then I mentioned, if you turn to page 96, we talked about non-major funds. As you can see, all of the non-major funds as of June 30, 2025 are listed here, and they're only non-major because either their assets did not reach the threshold or their revenues didn't reach the threshold of being called a major program. And they stay about the same every year, but those are the non-major programs. Then on page 98, we mentioned over in several times the financial impact on the federal grants. As you can see, you have on page 98, you have the I call it short for ARPA, which is that federal pass-through money, and then you have the CDBG that was passed through to Industrial Authority. Then we have our letters in the back. We have to issue an opinion in accordance to the government auditing standards, which when we do your audit, your financial audit, there's some provisions that we must also check for the government auditing standards. And we did, and we did not have any issues with any non-compliant. Likewise, there's a report over on page 102 of we had to audit your under a single audit standard, your grant. And so we had to audit the grant to make sure you were in compliance with all the red tape associated with any federal money that you get. And you all were in complete compliance with that. So we did not have any findings for your federal grant programs. And then we did not note any major issues this year. I mean, we always find little this and that, mainly with purchase orders, either, not being dated in a sequence. But the good news is those purchase orders that we did find, they were for allowable type expenses. So there wasn't any unallowable expenditures that we found in our testing. I also have laid out before you a 2-page letter, which is called the governance letter. This is a boilerplate letter that we are required to issue to the board. Basically, the nuts of it is this. If we had found or had any disagreement with management, if they refused to post any of our proposed audit adjustments, or they didn't cooperate in any form or fashion, we would be required to issue that in the letter. I'm happy to say that we had no issues with management. They posted their audit adjustments. We reviewed the audit adjustments posted to your all's financials, matched those up to the audited financial numbers, and they were in agreement. So we're good. As I was speaking to Alicia, we have a couple more things that we've got to get done. We've got to get the UFR, which is something the state requires, and then we got to get a data collection report done. And the data collection report is just on these federal programs, and it's just all electronic communication between what's in the audit that we send up to the federal government. They look at it, send an email back to Alicia, and then it comes to us, and then we forward it on. It's a pretty standard back and forth. But that's the nuts of all the audit for this year. Like I say, we did not have any major issues with anything of compliance nature, the government auditing standards, or under the federal programs. So, is there any questions?
So basically what you're saying is the city of Winchester has a clean audit.
They have a clean audit. Yes.
Any questions for anyone?
No, we got an A, so that should
You
be
got an
satisfactory.
A. You got an A. Okay, thank you, Tom.
If you all do have questions, as always, you can email me or call me in the office, and I'll be glad to get right back to you with any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to,
Appreciate you.
Joel.
Mayor, You need to adopt the audit.
We will.
Okay.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to adopt the audit as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Cox. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Chenault. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries.
Mayor,
Sir,
I think Alicia, did you want to say something?
I do, if you don't mind.
come on up.
I've been through a few of these, so. I just wanted to speak over just a minute, and I appreciate you all allowing me to speak. Usually audits are pretty standard, and most other people are just, I'm glad that they're over. And I'm not saying I'm not a person, but this audit has some significance for me. I started as a finance director in July of 2023. So the fiscal 2024 budget, I was already completed. So I worked and I learned on from that budget. Because of the timing of the audits, I was a part of the fiscal 2023 audit as well as the fiscal 2024. But for the fiscal 2025 year, it was the first year that I was an integral part of the entire audit process, from budget creation to audit completion. This really allowed me to see the whole picture and see it like this is how it comes, how it all comes together. It was amazing to hear that we have a clean audit, especially with all the moving parts that have been within the city during a fiscal year. All of this could not be possible without the hard work of the city employees that work tirelessly to ensure proper procedures are followed. I want to take a second to especially thank my team, the finance department. I have an amazing group of 5 hardworking young ladies. They were all in place before I began working for the city, but we have seamlessly created a great team. They have placed their trust in me, and in turn, I have tried to show them that I'm always in their corner and I'll have their backs. They deal with them so much. Despite it all, I'm ready to work, and I'm doing the best job for everyone involved. Every department has some interaction with my office, and these ladies genuinely care about doing what's best for each department, whatever they are involved in. Through all the drama, the chaos, the public comments, and just the general bad attitudes, they respond with a smile and they have a great day and still ask me how they can help make my job easier. I tend to take on too many tasks, and they recognize that, and they are always willing to lessen my burden. I can never repay them for how they have embraced me and my own leadership, but I will always try to do what's in their best interest. Along with my amazing team, this commission has placed the best people in the leadership positions for departments. From public works, police, fire and EMS, planning and zoning, and every department in between, you have created a group of dedicated public servants that have a heart for their departments, but also this on the city as well. We ask each other's opinions and develop respect for each other above and beyond what is expected in our positions. The cooperation between these departments with my office, even when they may not understand why a procedure has to be a certain way, is amazing. They never fail to answer all my questions, pull documents for me, and never miss a deadline because they know the importance to the city as a whole. They are the embodiment of good stewards of taxpayer funds and only want to provide the best service to those in this community. They should not only be commended for the work that they do that everyone sees, but also the late nights and the other mornings during the budget prep, writing purchase orders, reviewing expense reports, and dealing with endless emails and questions while also keeping a department or two running efficiently. This is difficult to juggle on a bad day, or it's difficult to juggle on a good day, much less while dealing with some of the other issues that they encounter all the time. Overall, I just want to honestly give credit where credit is due and make sure that everyone that had a hand in ensuring audit compliance and that we are standing up here today with a clean audit report got the recognition that they deserve. Public service sometimes goes unnoticed and unappreciated. I want them to know that I appreciate the work done by the employees of this city and what they do matters. And to the commission, I hope that you you remember that and that you keep that in mind as you continue to lead and guide us into another fiscal year.
Thank you, Alicia. So I guess I could say on behalf of the city commission, job well done. Okay, let's move back to our agenda, to old business. I will point out before we take up any business here, item 3B. Joy, you want to read that? And so we can go ahead and mark that off of our agenda, 3B.
Appeal of a denied beer cheese relief fund grant application. Catherine Pate and Cynthia Markham, Harlow's Lux Living, and withdrawal of appeal.
Okay, so they have withdrawn their appeal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 3A. Appeal of a denied beer cheese relief fund grant application on behalf of Charlena Harmon, The Hall. You want to address this?
Yes, ma'am. I'll give you based upon the direction of the commission at the last meeting, you all had asked Whitney and myself to investigate, explore the issue as it relates to these appeals. One of the first things that we did was the most important part of the process was the CPA and being able to certify the monies that were being reimbursed through the beer cheese relief fund, and working the previous applicants and those that received funds from that. The CPA was acquired via it was in gratis, as I understand, and that CPA is no longer available to do these type of reviews and certify those numbers. As such, I inquired of our CPA, the city of Winchester, who we use for our certified public accountant, and in our discussions that we had with them, we were informed that they would not certify any numbers that weren't actual numbers. They had to be actual numbers. That's important to note. It couldn't be a projected number, and he wouldn't provide a certification for that. So as such, I think that if they will not certify the numbers, and I'm just giving you the facts for your decision-making process, that there's the potential exists that it would invalidate or negate the process that took place in the originals with those that got that. These would be projected numbers. And we did ask, I think, Mr. Hall and I think Whitney had asked him to hold their information, because if they supply us with their information, then it becomes a matter of public record, and we would be subject to open records request. The way the process was run before, it was not a matter of open records. They didn't have to. And then after the CPA looked at that, they shred the information, and that information no longer exists. So, that's the commission's decision to uphold the decision that was made, or to move off of that and look at something as it relates to the appeal. But I can tell you that we can't find, or we won't be able to find, the CPA to certify those numbers, which will be in direct contradiction to everything that was done before. So that's where we stand today. Whitney had done her due diligence and looked into that, and I'm sure that they went back based upon your all's direction, or based on the commission's direction last time, and pulled information together. But that information, if we review that, I don't know that they're actual. Maybe if there is actual information there, then that is, but I would think that would be projected information. So that's where we stand today, and that's what we were asked to do, and that's where we are at as a staff this evening.
Okay, anyone have any comments?
Is there any way that we can help? Anything that we can do to help this issue in a positive, where they can go forward?
that's totally up to the commission. I mean, as far as the funds are concerned and the methodology by which they were dispersed through that process, I think that, like I said, I think you would invalidate the process. The one that was approved before, the one that the appeal that was approved before, there was a loophole found and in the way it was done or in the requirements that were there.
Right.
And, you know, I can't answer that question. You're all the commission. You all direct staff to do these things. My job is to provide you the information, and that's the information that we found. Commissioner Chenault, I don't know, if you say do something, I'm going to do what you tell me to do.
Basically, because the previous owner will not provide them with the information that they need.
We have only what our CPA has.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna ask if Whitney could be put on the spot, and not in direct reference to the hall necessarily. I don't know if that would even be public information, but a discussion of what general grants occur downtown. And again, not necessarily what the hall is receiving, but what we have given to various businesses, whether it's, I mean, I can answer my own question, but I'm doing this, you know, for everyone to hear. The DDIF narrative, or I'm sorry, the high side narrative for that one amount. And then what other DDIF programs some of our businesses are capturing and are still able to capture until this next agenda, which this will be completed. But you know what I mean? Just kind of what's happening with the DDIF.
DDIF offers a variety of different grants. Some of them are focused on renovations to buildings. So we're not getting as many of those applications, or we weren't, because a lot of those renovations took place when the program first started. So the majority of the program focuses on new business grants. And so those are specifically are a Kickstarter grant, which helps with purchase of, like it states, kickstarting your business. That could be something like signage or equipment or marketing, your cash register, your point of sale system, something like that. It's very flexible. The other is the rental reimbursement, the new business stipend, which is $500 a month, provided to a new business within their first 2 years. They can apply for it in the second year. It's paid out quarterly based on receipts of their rent payment. So they get that about $1,500 every 3 months throughout a year, and then they can reapply in their second year.
And then there was the narrative.
Then there was this year we implemented the Main Street High Side Support Grant, which was $3,000, up to $3,000, based on a narrative of construction impact. And we gave out a significant amount of funds.
In your letter for the next agenda item, apologies for interrupting you, $75,000 more than
Yes.
to 28 businesses. Okay.
So then the renovation grants cover things like roof replacements or facade upgrades, those sorts of things.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
Well, I really want to do something to assist business, but is there, you know, can we get?
I'm not the legal.
I know.
There's your legal.
Yeah.
I give you the facts.
I know.
Is there anything that we can do, Mr. Dayton?
It's up to you. I mean, the issue is real dollars versus a check that's lost. I think that's what the CPA that we try to engage in order to keep the boundaries between public and potentially public information. If we were to get the numbers ourselves and look at them, try to get CPA involved, and they wouldn't they wouldn't certify any projected numbers. So, I don't know, I mean, legally to stop you from doing it, it's not illegal, but projected is projected, it's just a number.
Is there a way we could do, like after the construction was complete, their business increased by this percentage and use some of those numbers to project something?
Where would the numbers come from?
Well, what their income was before while the construction was in its, a month's worth of business while the construction was taking place, and then compare it to their revenue after a construction was almost completed, and compare the numbers and say, their business was hurt by 25%,
Again, you all are decision makers,
Yeah.
policy makers, you can decide to do that. The problem that I think was presented to Mr. Flynn himself was that the CPA, as he said, I don't want to repeat it again, but if we have the numbers, it's subject to become public.
Right.
So we can't touch the numbers. There has to be an intermediary. That would be a CPA, and our CPA would not do it, so. But you're certainly able to take a stab at some kind of percentage loss. It's projected, but you can do it.
Sorry.
Is there anything else that we can do? Anything that we as a board that we can do?
I'm thinking, I'm not sure how to answer that. I guess my only question would be, did that application, and of course, we didn't see any of the applications, but did that application comply with the rest of the applications? Is there anything, does that make sense what I'm asking, Whitney? Are all the applications reviewed the same, under the same criteria, I guess is what I'm.
Well, yeah, it was based on actual losses, so that's what they're mentioning here, is that this would be a projected loss, and so that's where the issue comes in that. And I did ask the halls when you guys, after the last meeting, to pull those numbers, but then the CPA said that they could not certify projected losses. And then, that also would draw into question projected losses for other businesses as well. So we're looking at projected versus actual, the main question here.
So with all due respect, based on the application requirements, I will make a motion to uphold the initial decision as made by the grant committee.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Strode. Any further discussion?
I just think before we vote, I would like to give them another opportunity to find some way, working with Whitney before she goes, that you could say, our revenue before was, and have your accountant say your revenue before the construction was complete was what, or when construction was completed, your revenue increased by this percentage.
I think it has to be worded right
Yeah,
for us to help them. Now, how that's gonna work?
I won't beat this like a dead horse. They are a committed business downtown, but the application requirements weren't met.
but
Whitney,
basically.
why did the other people withdraw their appeal? Do you know?
They have is the letter in your?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay,
They didn't give an individual reason.
okay, okay.
They just said that they would like to withdraw.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew, okay, if you knew a reason, okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to deny the appeal. Is that what your motion was?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I know what Joe's saying, I know what
I do
Shannon's
too.
saying. I think the other thing that Hannah's talking about, and we talked about this before, is opening up to other people to come back and say the same thing. You know, we were denied, and why were we denied? So you've got that issue as well, which I'm concerned about.
We sped through this process pretty quickly, and I think the initial intention of the narrative to receive it for $3,000 was our attempt at and I'm using these words by my own use, but a coverall, because we do want to support,
Exactly.
but I still got to stand by application requirements, and I'm sorry.
Ron, he wants to speak.
okay, come on up.
What are the applications?
Come on up to the podium if you would.
You said that twice, both ladies out in here, and I don't know what the application.
So there was like the checklist that the CPA went through and marked off. I would have to go back and look at what that is, but I know that it's the financials, and I think one blip, in my opinion,
Financials from Mr. Hall.
I understand, and that's what's unfortunate about this particular grant, but what is beneficial to the grants for the narratives or the Kickstart or the rental assistance. I understand what you're saying. I just, if we're going to create guidelines and rules and then just not abide by them, what's the point?
Well, that's like they said, they found a loophole for somebody else.
Sure. Well, and that business was in existence in the city of Winchester.
It's too, I bought this in existence
Yes, in July.
in July,
Yes, sir.
but I can't make them give me the financials from July back to January.
I understand that.
And then the city took all the parking on that side, so.
I understand. I hear your frustration. Other than repeating that, I would have to go back to see what the application said, to see what the CPA approved, because that was the first hurdle for every business. And that, you know, we have made an honest attempt at trying to help everyone. This $78,000 to 28 businesses. I'm not a business owner on Main Street in Winchester, so I can't stand in your shoes. But what I can say is that if we are here to create guidelines, we are supposed to uphold them.
Okay. All in favor of denying the appeal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed by like sign?
Opposed.
I'm opposed.
Okay, motion carries 3-2. Sorry it ended like that, but we've got to be fair across the board, and these are the tough decisions we have to make, so.
We had denied other people for the same reason. I think it was gonna open up
You want to say that a little bit louder?
I said, I think it was gonna open a can of worms because we had denied others that did not do that.
I understand their frustration and
Oh, I
choosing
do
to leave.
too.
I will say that some of it was, which they met these requirements, 20 hours a week,
Yeah.
and you have to remain open 6 months, correct, after receiving it.
Yeah.
So there are
Yeah.
a lot of parameters,
Yes.
and there were a few people that were denied because they didn't meet those,
That's right.
including financials.
And they are not the only ones that were denied, correct,
Correct.
Whitney?
Well, the other one that withdrew their appeal was denied for the same criteria. That
Mhm.
Didn't have year-over-year financial.
Okay, item 4, new business. A, recommendation from Michael H. Flynn, city manager, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
and Whitney Leckett, strategic communications and downtown development director, to pause the DDIF program until further notice. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Toole, second by Commissioner Strode. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries.
You might want to
Item,
make that public. I mean, just say a few of these things that are in here, and the anticipation is that the program be paused for a minimum of 18 to 24 months, which means that we will not receive any applications from this point forward as of this date. And talking to Whitney, we have 6 applications that have been received. Those will be held by staff. And then at such time the program reopens back up, then we will take those in the order that they were received. They might have to update some of the information, provide some additional things, but since they did submit applications, we'll show them the courtesy of looking at their applications in the order they were received. And I think Commissioner Tools already mentioned it, but since the establishment of all this, we have invested well over $500,000, $580,000 in downtown Winchester, and the things that we've done with the grants and all the other things that are there. So, I mean, I think this commission's took a very conscientious effort to invest in downtown, and while it's very important, and we've done a lot of projects in downtown. I've been part of a lot of projects in downtown that includes the Depot Street, the Main Street project, and a lot of things that Brian and his staff have done downtown to help improve things. So, again, it's unfortunate the decision that had to be made there before, and hopefully that we can continue to grow what we've done.
And Mr. Flynn, and maybe Whitney can clarify, but we reiterate that anyone who is receiving like rental assistance right now will finish that program.
Yeah.
Yes, no one's being cut short. Yeah.
No, if they've got a grant in progress, as we sit here tonight, we'll finish that grant out, and then once it closes, actually, we just submitted for a reimbursement of a rental assistance that was the final payment today. I signed the PO for that, so we'll finish those that we've got out, and then once they finish, then the program shut down until we find a sustainable revenue source to maintain that program moving forward.
okay. Well, thank you for bringing those points up very much.
Reasons.
Okay, Joy, we have a motion and a second on the floor,
You all have already
and we
voted.
have voted.
Yes.
There we go. All right, item 4B, resignation letter of Whitney Leggett, Strategic Communications and Downtown Development Director. Is there a motion to accept her resignation?
We can't make it today.
I think Joey has to read this first.
The order,
Okay, go
or I
ahead.
don't have to read it at all and she has to stay.
That's the point. Now, go ahead.
An order accepting the resignation of Whitney Liggett, Winchester First Director, which it should be Strategic Communications and Downtown
Yes.
Development Director.
Okay, I will make that motion with regret.
And I will second it.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
I'll get a little comment first.
Any opposed by
Yeah,
like
me too.
sign?
I want to have it.
Okay, motion carries, and now we're going to take a little breather.
You go
and-
ahead, Hannah.
What-
and I'll go
Well, and I just want to say, when Whitney came on, it's not a personal thing, but she and I have had this discussion a few times. I leaned into her a good amount, and I think she carried the torch well. I think this position is painful, and I think we need a serious revision or pause on this position. It's up to the commission back. But there's been a lot of turnaround, and I wish you luck going further back into your journalism roots.
do too. Joel and I felt I can speak to this pretty well because Whitney and I sit on Beer Cheese together, and she has been a wonderful leader for Beer Cheese and for downtown businesses. It's the toughest job to please all the businesses downtown. It just is. And she's taken a lot of hits, which are not fair because they haven't been her fault. But she's done an excellent job, and we're going to miss you, Whitney, so much. I thank you for all you've done, and you have really gotten the marketing off for downtown, and I want that to continue. Somehow we've got to do that, find a way to do it, but I think Hannah's right. It's got to be reworked and revised maybe, because I do think that this position, the hardest part is dealing with almost bullying that happens in that position, and it is true. So, and I hate that, and I'm embarrassed about it, but it's kind of what happens.
Well, Whitney, all I can say is our loss is Berea College's gain. Godspeed and the best of luck in that new position, and you will be missed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, item 5, ordinance for second reading. Joy will read the ordinance, and then we will have a roll call vote since it is a second reading.
This is a summary, an ordinance establishing the duties of city safety officers. A complete copy of the ordinance is available at City Hall. I hereby certify that the foregoing is an accurate summary of the contents of the above entitled ordinance. William A. Dyke, attorney for the city of Winchester.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Toole. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cox. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries.
Roll call.
Oh, roll call.
Commissioner Chenault,
I'm still reeling from that last decision, so.
I know.
do you agree?
Yes.
Commissioner Strode?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Toole?
Yes.
I just said roll call and turned right around and did something different. Okay, item 6, personnel orders are actually A through G. We've already taken care of G, so A through F. Madam Clerk,
An order employing Daryl Daly to fill the position of crossing guard.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Toole, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cox. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries. Item 6B,
An order employing Anthony Epperson to fill the position of operator 1.
Is
Wait a
there-
minute, skipped one.
I did skip one, but where is he
Skip
at?
B, here.
An order employing Monty Stamper to fill the position of crossing guard.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Cox, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Strode. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries. Item 6C,
An order employing Anthony Epperson to fill the position of operator 1.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Toole, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Strode. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries. Item 6D,
An order amending the position description of administrative assistant, historic preservation commission assistant to administrative planning assistant.
is there a motion?
Moved.
Motion by Commissioner Strode, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cox. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I think this person already does this, but maybe it should fall under examples of work is attending the Board of Adjustment meetings. I know it kind of goes without being said that they would be doing that, but
She does attend.
You would like to have that inserted into the
examples of work.
requirements?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Where?
there should be no problem.
You see that, Stephanie?
I didn't notice it on there. I noticed that they did like the memos and the minutes,
Mhm.
and I know that she currently attends those meetings. I just think
For examples of work, just
consistency.
make sure that it says that she attends the Board of Adjustments meeting.
Yes, please.
Just-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Commissioner Toole.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, item,
No, we need a vote.
okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by like sign? Motion carries. Item 6E,
An order adopting a vehicle maintenance mechanic shop foreman position description, classification, and pay plan.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Strode, second by Commissioner Cox. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Item 6F,
An order adopting a police officer 3 position description, classification, and pay plan.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Toole, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cox. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Item 7, comments from the general public concerning items not on the agenda.
There's nobody signed
No
up.
one signed up. Okay. Alicia, you gonna speak again? No. Oh, okay, just checking.
Thank you.
Okay, and we do need to go into closed session, and
Or
I'm gonna let Mr. Dykeman tell us for what item.
It would be property acquisition, 6118B.
Okay,
City potential litigation.
and potential litigation. Okay, Commissioner Cox, would you like to make your motion?
make a motion, we adjourn to closed session at this point for
Turn that on.
items related to KRS Chapter 61810B, property acquisition, and KRS Chapter 61, 810C, potential litigation. At the end of the closed session, we adjourn the closed session and this regular session meeting simultaneously.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Strode. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye. We will now adjourn to the city manager's office. Thank you.